Hey everyone, welcome to The Zest, the official podcast of Orange Coast Magazine. I'm Chelsea Ranieri, and today's guest is a Sports Illustrated rookie model and was featured in the May 2024 swimsuit issue at age 57. She's also a doctoral degree holder, a retired associate dean, and she consults at Cal State Fullerton. Thank you so much for being here today, Nina Cash.
Thank you for having me, Chelsea.
Of course. I had so much fun researching your story, and I loved the different stories that you shared about your family. I read that your brother was the first Filipino community college president in the country.
Yes. Yeah. Of two community colleges. Yeah. For the California state system.
Wow.
So he was the first doctor in the family, and I'm the second. We're like the bookend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the oldest and I'm the youngest. So we're the bookends.
Oh, that's awesome. I read in an article that you shared recently about your dad and a Japanese soldier. Do you mind retelling the story?
Oh, not at all. So my dad, he is a veteran, was a veteran of World War II, Korea and Vietnam. And prior to that, he was in the Philippine-Japanese conflict, and it was a couple of years right before World War II. You can probably hear my dogs are singing in the background. They know that we're on the podcast.
That's my dogs do the exact same thing.
So my dad, he is a 3-war veteran, but again, prior to that, he, was in the Philippine conflict. He was a guerrilla. And one day he was summoned to his commanding officer's hut in the Philippines, and he was ordered to execute a Japanese soldier that they had just got. Let me rephrase that. He was. Sorry, I think my dogs got me a little bit fumbled there. Because there were like somebody out in my garden. But no, so my dad was called to his commander's hut because they just captured a Japanese soldier, and the order was for my dad to kill this Japanese soldier, which was horrible, right? My dad's 17 years old, and this Japanese soldier was also about 17 years old. And so when the commander left, my dad looked at this soldier, again, the same age as my dad, and it's like, in his mind, he said, I cannot do this. Yeah. So he let that Japanese soldier run into the jungle. And so my dad shot 2 gunshots up in the air. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to 2 weeks later, my father and a couple of his fellow soldiers were captured by the Japanese. And as fate would have it, they were lined up to be executed. And the person that was going to come out to execute them was the person that my father was supposed to execute 2 weeks prior. Yeah. And so the soldier looked at my dad, let my dad go. But then sadly, when my dad was running in the jungle, my dad heard a couple of shots. Obviously. No. And so, I look at those stories of what my dad went through at a young age, mm-hmm. and also, World War II, Korea and Vietnam. And I think, listen, modeling in a bathing suit in the cold, nothing, okay? That's like a first world problem. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, you come from a line of really inspiring people, and you are clearly no exception to this. But I read that you were scouted originally for modeling in high school. Did you pursue it back then too, or?
I would have loved to. Mm-hmm. I was on, so Bullocks, for those of you who are kind of old like me, Gen Xers, there was a department store called Bullocks, and they had what was called 17 campus board. So they picked a senior from each of the surrounding high schools in that area to be on their campus modeling board. And so we did some, tea room modeling, because they had this fancy tea room on the 4th floor. And we did that. But no, my parents wouldn't allow me to do any kind of formal modeling with an agency until after I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So, so after I graduated high school, a friend of mine, she had already been with LA Models and suggested that I check them out, and got signed with LA Models, and did the modeling thing for just a little bit in my early 20s, and then fell in love, got married, had a baby, and then, had to do the whole mom life family thing. And I chose that. So
that's amazing. And I read that. So 10 years after you graduated high school, you got your bachelor's, and then 10 years after that, you got your master's, and then you got your doctorate at 55. What made you initially want to go back to school?
Well, it was a kind of a happy coincidence that, once I decided that, I had to get a quote unquote real job to raise my family, I fell into higher education. Well, actually, I fell into education. I started working for the Long Beach Unified School District, and then just really enjoyed it. And, having an older brother, right, who was also in education at the time. He was working for community colleges. He wasn't a dean yet, but he was a counselor and then also associate dean, and then he became president. He was a great role model for me. So I just started to dive into that whole education field and workforce development. And just wanted to do that route. And it was really, really great. And in order to move up on the ranks in higher education, we have to have and possess higher education credentials, so degree. And so I went back to school as a full-time working single mom and got my bachelor's. And then when I was working for a university, I went back and got my master's. And then when I was an associate dean, before I was an associate dean, I got my doctorate.
Wow. Where were you an associate dean at?
I was an associate dean at Cal State LA.
Wow, amazing.
Yes, I worked at Cal State Long Beach, Cal State LA, Cal State Fullerton, and now I'm consulting at Cal Poly Pomona.
Oh my God, everywhere. I read, so you worked in higher education and workforce development for 30 years, and your students like yourself were mostly returning adults. I imagine having someone like you in your position you're probably able to relate to them a lot more. And what did you learn from your time in that position?
Well, that's my passion, and I think that's why I'm still consulting. So the area of my expertise is returning adult students and continuing education. So my focus was returning adult students who were either wanting to come back to get their first degree, their associates or their bachelor's, or maybe somebody who actually had a lot of credits but never finished their bachelor's. So it was a degree completion program, someone who wanted their master's or somebody who was actually going back to get their doctorate. So, our average age of student was about 37 years old. So these were all people who had lives, right? They were working adults. So that's a very different type of population than the traditional student of the 18 to 24-year-old or 18 to 27-year-old. Their needs are different. How we need to craft and offer the degree programs and the training programs is completely different than the traditional route.
How do you craft them a little differently?
Well, they're offered on the weekends. They're consolidated. They're online. This is, so just in a nutshell, the traditional university, the way one earns credits, right, to move on to the next course, to finally earn enough credits for a degree, is based on the Carnegie model of education. Okay. And and a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't, I was guilty of this, but when I did my research for my doctorate, the Carnegie model unit of education was built solely on how to calculate faculty retirement. It was students were not in that realm of trying to figure out how we can craft this education for students. It was all based on faculty retirement. That's why you see class. Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why you see classes are like a semester class. We'll just swap the semesters, are 45 hours, right? In a semester constitutes a course. And so you have to, master that course content and get all the knowledge and skills you can in that 45 hours. If not, what happens? You have to take that class again and pay more money.
Oh my God.
So it's very eye-opening for me. So one of the things that we do, and one of the things that my dissertation is on, is about competency-based education, whereby we don't calculate someone passing or earning credits, if you will, based on their butt sitting in the classroom for 45 hours passing a test. It's based on one's mastery of the content. So prove your competency, and then you can move on to the next course.
That makes much more sense to me.
Right?
Yeah.
So the example I would give is like, like a registered nurse, right? Who wants to get her bachelor's. Are you really going to have that registered nurse who's been working as a nurse for 20 years take the very basic courses
right.
in anatomy, right? For 45 hours.
Jeez.
If they can prove competency that, either by assessment or test created by the faculty, right? It's going to be faculty driven in that aspect. Why not allow them to do that, pass it? And then if they need more time in another course to become competent or to prove mastery, and they might need more than 45 hours, then allow them to have more time than that.
Yeah.
So that's my passion. Kind of want to flip the switch.
No, I love that. I had no idea about any of that. And that all makes so much more sense. It seems like a much more forgiving way to learn rather than just like A's and credits and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And just putting everybody in a box and everybody must learn the same way.
Right. Exactly. 100%.
We all don't. Yeah.
Right. So tell me about the volunteer work you've done with Get Safe, which I believe is based in Orange County.
It's based in Orange County. Yeah. I am celebrating my 25th year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a wonderful nonprofit organization founded by Stuart Haskin, who, again, this has been his lifelong mission. He doesn't make that much money from it. He's certainly not a millionaire. I joke, not even a thousandaire. I mean, he just puts his whole heart and soul into this. But the mission of Get Safe is really to help people live safer lives. And we have different types of training programs that include survivors of sexual assault, violence. We work with all ages, from children to senior citizens. We do prevention education as well. We work with police officers. We work with firefighters. We work with colleges and universities and students, businesses about workplace safety. One of my specialties is the intellectually and developmentally disabled population, IDD population.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the programs that I helped develop about 25 years ago.
Wow.
And so it just helps out population who are 10 times more likely to be re-victimized than the quote unquote, normal population when it comes to crimes and various crimes at that. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. 25 years.
25 years. Yeah. Wow. 1999.
Wow.
I started with it.
That's amazing. And okay, this is a side note. And before we get into the Sports Illustrated story, I read that you were a regular dancer on Dick Clark's American Bandstand in the 80s. I know who Dick Clark is. I'm not sure if I know what the show is. Can you explain for millennials?
Yes, millennials are happy to explain and disease too. Okay, so American Bandstand was a dance show, and it highlighted all like the up and coming rock bands and singers, and it was so much fun. And there was, groups of kids that would come on the show and dance all the latest songs. And I was lucky enough to my last year in high school and then beginning of college, my junior college years, I was able to dance on the show with my brother, and we were like the brother sister team, and we had so much fun. So much fun. I saw so many bands. I can't tell you, but maybe the millennials and the Gen Zs might not know, but I mean, Culture Club, Madonna, like the just the Bangles, the list goes on, and like up close and personal. It was before MTV, and I can't remember now what the MTV show was that everybody watched. It was with Carson. He hosted it.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm also forgetting. Yeah. Oh my God. How cool. Did you get to meet any of the bands?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. What a dream.
Absolutely. It was so much fun.
Wow.
So much. And I have a story about Janet Jackson.
Oh, tell me, yeah.
We're the same age, Janet Jackson and I. And of course, this is when she just started coming back out, and she was hot. She was so great. And I remember taking a break, and I was going to go outside. I didn't know that her limousine was there. So when I opened the door, I bumped her in the head.
Oh my God. Was she upset or was she cool about it?
Not at all. She is just what you see on TV. She was so kind and just wasn't phased by it, was making sure I was okay because I was more flustered than anything. Like, I'm so sorry. She was just gorgeous and still is.
That makes me happy that she was nice and not like mean about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you retired in June 2022, and later that year, you and your husband took a trip to Australia. So tell me about the fortuitous bathing suit hunt.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is so funny. Even I think about it and I still giggle on the inside. So I grew up in a Filipino Catholic military family. So very traditional, very reserved. And my nature is not one to show off in a bikini. I've just never been that way anyways. If I went to the beach, it would be a one piece.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't be a piece. So we went in December, and so Australia, they're the opposite, right, of us. So their wintertime is our summertime, and their summertime is our wintertime. So we're there in December. Hadn't been back to Australia I think it was like 3 years almost because of the pandemic. So we decided to stay a whole month. And my husband and I love to do early morning walks on the beach. That's our thing.
Nice.
Sunrise. It's quiet. We just take a stroll. It's beautiful. Well, I forgot to buy a bathing suit. So we go to the local mall. It's called The Pines, and it's by where my mother-in-law lives. And it's where all the cute little ladies and gents go to get their stuff. And so I go to The Pines to find a bathing suit. And of course, everything's sold out. The only bathing suit that was available in my size, and I kid you not, was a piece leopard print bikini. I'm like, seriously, I cannot do this. Is so much. So, honey, we go at 6:00 in the morning. No one's going to be there. I'm like, you know what? You're right. No worries. Bought the bathing suit. So I think it was like the 30th of December or something like that. So 31st, we decided to go. We are walking on the beach. My husband's just taking candid shots. We're just looking, blah, 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 blah. That night, we're looking at a cell phone. We're going through the pictures, and we're looking at the shots. And I'm like, hey, not too bad for a middle-aged, gray-haired, retired senior citizen. You know, we start going this whole like rabbit thing of like, I'm old because now I'm retired. And not to do in life. And so I jokingly said, well, I remember Kathy Jacobs. She was 57 when she was named a rookie like 3 years ago. And so my husband goes, you should apply for Sports Illustrated, the search. I'm like, I'm going to do it. Kind of joking, but kind of like, hey, I'm retired now, right?
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. So I'm thinking because it's December that the application period was over. Now, mind you, I don't even know what the application entails, but I'm like looking it up. Come to find out, SI Swim, they extended the application.
Oh my God. What are the odds?
What are the odds? It's like the stars align.
Yeah.
I quickly looked at like an example application from someone who did it last year, and it was totally professional. I'm like, and I'm like, okay, we have zero time to do this. So I told my break the camera. He took out his cell phone. He films me. I think I did something like 30 seconds, and I cobbled together those random shots of the beach, and I submitted it. Kid you not, Chelsea, kind of forgot about it, right? Because that was just a fast thing, blah, 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 blah. 3 months later, I get an email from Sports Illustrated. Congratulations, Nina. You've made it to the top 24 out of thousands of entry. And I'm thinking my husband's pulling a prank, or certainly my kid. I'm like, no, this is not, no way. And sure enough, it was real. It was true.
Wow.
So made it to top 24, then top 12 after the interview process, and then top 7, and then, a rookie. Yeah, pinch me. I would have never thought.
And they had you guys do a runway competition, right? And like, I've done a runway thing a long time ago for like a work thing. It is so much harder than what it looks like. Like they were like, you need to slow down, walk slower than you think. And I watched the video later, and I'm just like sprinting down this runway. What was it for you?
Well, okay. So again, a first time doing anything like that, and in a bathing suit. Okay, let's be real.
And it's a bikini too.
Yeah. I was more nervous for that than when I had to defend for my dissertation, right? Like 5 years. I was like, oh my God. What I will say is that everybody was so kind and so encouraging. And I just thought, you know what? I'm owning this. I am so fortunate to be given this opportunity. You know, out of all of these women who applied, I'm here Yeah, I could be their mother. Yeah, I can. I'm as old as pretty much everybody, but I'm still here. But another thing that I haven't really said much in talking to folks, but it was almost to the day, a year to the date, that I stepped out of my office and shut my door from the university for the last time. A year to almost the date, I was walking onto the catwalk at Sports Illustrated in Miami.
Oh,
and I was like,
God.
That's like what a difference a year makes, right?
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
It was meant to be. It literally was meant to be.
I think the stars aligned.
Yeah. How many candidates made it from the runway to the actual like shoot? You said seven total?
Yes. Yeah. So it started with 24. Then we all had interviews. They narrowed it down to 12. Then they narrowed it down to 7. And then from the 7, they were going to pick just one rookie, but they ended up picking all 7 of us.
Oh,
and that was the first time in the history. And we were all so stoked because we all kept talking about how wonderful it would be if we could just all celebrate the victory together. And it came true.
That's
so
nice.
It was amazing. Just amazing.
Were you guys all on the same plane to Portugal?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
You're in different places.
Everybody shot in different places.
What?
So we all did not. Yes, it's all kept a very, very big secret. I didn't even know until maybe, I think it was a week and a half before I was scheduled to go to Portugal. Yeah, they keep it under wraps and rightly so, right? They don't want anything to be, let out bag so quickly. But it was really a lot of fun. But I have to say that, so I had a job right before I was going to be shooting in Portugal. And so my job, it was a cruise job. I was on a cruise for a week. So I ended up in Mexico. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Ended up in Mexico, which there was a car that drove me from Mexico over the border to my home in LA, which took 7 hours, right? A drive. Then I had about 4 hours just to get my stuff ready before the car from SI was going to pick me up from my home to take me to the airport, LAX, right? Then get on a plane from LAX to New York. Then from New York to Lisbon, then Lisbon to Porto, and then another 2-hour ride from Porto to the destination.
And you had to shoot the next day?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was and listen, I'm 100% real. What you see, like no Photoshop, nothing. It's just, I like to say I'm authentic because I want people to be inspired by the realness, not the perceived whatever.
Yeah.
And so, people have heard, well, I get bloated on planes and I retain water. I'm like, that was me.
What?
But I wasn't.
You bloated? That's crazy.
I hate to say, because people go, that's you bloated. But I was really, I felt bloated. But I'm like, I'm not taking water pills. I'm not doing anything like that because that's not what I would do anyways, because this is real life.
Yeah.
And so I got there and they were wonderful and they embraced me. And gosh, I say this and I'll never stop repeating it because it kind of illustrates how I felt. This whole Sports Illustrated experience has been like a kid the night before Christmas. Just the anticipation, the excitement, the wonderment. It's like unicorns and fairies and, leprechauns at the end of the rainbow. Wonderful. And then when I did my shoot, well, it was like Christmas morning and I was opening up all these amazing gifts. It's just was magical, Chelsea, just magical.
Oh my God. Well, your photos turned out gorgeous. Like if I didn't know, I would have assumed that you've just been modeling your entire life. Like, did you practice before or did you how'd you?
Well, I've done modeling before, but not in a bathing suit. So it's a little bit different, right? Because there's certain angles that look better. And MJ Day, who's the editor-in-chief, she is just, gosh, she's a wonderful human being. And the whole crew were so lovely in giving me tips. They just provided tips and they were just great. Just awesome.
And your face is so fierce in every photo. Like it's so good.
Well, a part of it, they would say, Nina, you smile so much because that's just who I am. And maybe it was nerves, but I had to draw my inner Tyra Banks and her smizing to get that.
I love that so much. Well, the smize was on point. So walk me through the day. What was it like? Did you you got there and they did hair and makeup and then they did you get to pick out the bathing suits or did they have them lined up?
So when I got there, it was in the evening. So I literally had to eat, and I had probably like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, then had to get up. I take that back. When I got in, I had to do a quick fitting. And then the next day, I only had like 5 hours. And then the next morning, I woke up and I had hair and makeup early in the morning. Drove to the location because this was just the hotel. Then we drove to the location and had more hair and makeup done, put on the suits, and then just was full force. Boom, 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 one after the other. And I believe I did 15 bathing suits.
Wow. Yeah. How many hours was it?
It was all day.
Oh,
it was all day.
Did you keep any of the bathing suits?
I did.
You did? Oh my God. It's amazing. Do you have any favorites? There's one, I think it's like
there's so many.
The gray, gray or silvery one on you. Oh my God, I loved it.
That's Norma Kamali. She's, fantabulous, I like to say. And she's my generation. So that was great. But all of them are just, I love the black one too with the gold. It's just, they're all beautiful.
Oh my God, so pretty. That location was gorgeous too. How cool that you got to go for free and like.
Amazing. It's a pinch me moment. It really is. Once in a lifetime pinch me moment.
Yeah.
I'm forever.
Did you get to stay for a long time afterwards or a few days afterwards, or was it?
No, because I was booked on something else. So I immediately, the next day after the shoot, I was on a plane coming back.
No way. Wow. Quick turnaround.
It was a whirlwind.
Yeah. So you, as a person living with type 2 diabetes, how do you hope that your photo shoot influences the way people think about it?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. I think, people look at me and they don't think I have diabetes. They're always shocked, like, wait, you have diabetes? Because they think diabetic people are overweight. They don't take care of themselves. They don't exercise. They eat poorly. That couldn't be, nothing like me, right? I'm the polar opposite of that. I eat pretty well. I eat anything I want, but in moderation. I just don't go overboard. My husband knows I love ice cream and strawberry pie, and he knows I could probably eat it, all of it in one thing, but I won't. I don't. I just hope that by me, being in Sports Illustrated and other things that I've done just shows the diabetic community and shows other people that, this is what diabetes looks like. And it's not just that of what I just said, a person that's overweight and whatnot. And then also to my fellow persons who do have diabetes, the sky's the limit for you too. You can do anything. Don't be limited by what people say just because of your quote unquote disability. Definitely. Right? For all intents and purposes, I have a disability because I'm diabetic, but I don't see it as a disability whatsoever.
Yeah, my mom's actually she's always like bordering that. And she's like the healthiest person I know. I call her, she's like what do they call it? Almond mom. Like she.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like growing up, she was like, there no sugar in the house. Like we didn't have the fun cereals, like just very like healthy and clean. And then, so I was like, well, there you go.
It's genetics. It's genetics. Yeah. It ran it still runs on both sides of my family. So, and I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my daughter at 26. So knowing that it ran in my family, I was very conscious of the fact that most likely I would get diabetes when I was an adult. So I was always looking out for those particular signs. And in 2015, I had them all. And of course I went to the doctor and sure enough did the test, and there you have it. So now I'll have to be on medication for the rest of my life, just because it's genetic. And I still eat healthy, I exercise and do the same things, but I still am diabetic.
Right. Well, tell me about some of the ways that you stay in shape and stay healthy, because your body's incredible. Like, just incredible.
Well, I have to say genetics, right? Thank you, mom and dad and my grandma. Genetics. But I do try to exercise daily. And what do I mean by that? I don't have like a regime of like, I'm going to do my Peloton for half an hour. I'm going to walk on the treadmill. I'm going to do weights. I like to do what I'm in the mood for, whether it be the Peloton for an hour, whether it be weights, whether it's, walking on my treadmill, whether it's walking my dogs. How about it's dancing? My husband and I love to dance, hence American Bandstand, and me dancing with the stars one day. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. So I do that. And then eating wise, I always eat breakfast because I'm diabetic and I just need that. And a lot of protein, right? That can last throughout the day. I don't have big meals. I have little meals throughout the day. I like to say that I'm grazing I graze throughout the day.
Okay.
But my type of grazing is like carrots and celery and some cheese and some other proteins, but not like these, heavy meals of like mashed potatoes and a big steak and all that stuff. So
what's the benefit of grazing versus having big meals?
I don't know. For me, it just, I don't get into that point where I'm starving, right? And then I want to eat, and then I just shove my mouth full of food, and then I'm like regret it later because I've got a stomach ache because I've eaten too much, right? I feel like when I get a little bit hungry, and then I just eat some food, and then I'm good, and then I'll do it again, and I'm good, rather than these big meals that just make me feel heavy. And then also, I try to stop eating. Believe it or not, I stop eating past 7. I really make it an effort because I feel better in the morning because I usually wake up about 5 o'clock. So I try to stop eating like around 6-ish is my target to stop eating.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip. So you mentioned hopefully Dancing with the Stars, but is there anything coming up that you would like listeners to keep an eye out for?
Oh my goodness, gosh. It's funny. I have an Excel spreadsheet now, and perhaps that's the educator.
Exactly how I am too. I love spreadsheets.
Because like my brain, I've got so much going on right now. But I've done some commercials that are coming out. I just got booked on something. I'm going to Minneapolis and New York next week. And so you'll see me on commercials. What's really funny though, Chelsea, because of my age now, I'm getting a lot of pharmaceutical stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Like for joint pain, for sore eyes, for dry eyes, for everything that quote unquote a senior would need to make themselves feel better. But I'm not worried about it. It's all good. I'm happy about it.
Well, funny enough, I watch The Bachelor, and those commercials tend to run through all the time on The Bachelor. Really? So I'm excited to see you probably in one of those.
Oh, hey, maybe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of our time, but before I let you go, we have 3 final questions for you that we call our Thoughtful 3. So what advice do you have for people when they find themselves outside of their comfort zone?
Oh, that's a great question. I love that. Embrace it. Embrace all the uncertainty, embrace the butterflies, embrace it all because you're alive and it's normal, right? And it's okay to mess up and it's okay to fumble. Certainly I've done that quite a bit during this interview, but you know what? I'm human and so are you. Just go for it. Time is going to pass regardless of what you are doing or not doing. So just do it. Just go for it.
Love that quote. That's great. What would you tell your younger self knowing what you know now?
Stay the course, embrace it all. All of what I just said, all of the things all the good things and the bad things are building a solid foundation of who you are to become. So just stay the course and accept it all.
Love that. And then lastly, if listeners could take one thing away from this conversation, what would you want it to be? Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Have a sense of humor. I just go back to life is short, guys, Yeah. And it's not your business what other people think of you. I love that. Yes. You know who you are. Be you. Be your authentic self. I agree. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This was so much fun getting to talk with you. Nice to talk to you, Chelsea. Thank you so much.